Weekly feed, Kyle, Meredith, the one and only Grace Potter.
Hey!
Of Grace Potter and the Nocturnals.
That's me!
We're here at Forecastle. How are you?
I'm great.
Yeah, it's nice to see you back in Louisville.
Hanging out between two boobs.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can get these in the angle.
It's different than the Zach Galifianakis between two ferns.
Between two boobs.
We have between four boobs.
Between four boobs.
Yeah.
And we're kind of in like a ship situation
Something's going on here. There's
really
a theme.
cool.
We're planning this stuff out.
I'll take it.
Well, anyway, yeah, it's great to have you back here in Louisville. The Lion, the Beast, and the Beat still on this tour, and a fantastic record. I feel like you guys have done something. I'll actually back up. I want to start with something trivial because I read somewhere you were you're a big fan of Labyrinth.
I mean, love the Labyrinth.
Kids of the '80s. We're
I
big
just
fans
had
of
a David Bowie dream last night.
Did
so
you?
Crazy.
Wait, is this normal?
Yeah.
You have a recurring David Bowie?
Yeah,
I didn't read that part.
I do have a recurring David Bowie dream.
Have you heard his new record?
I actually haven't, and this is an interesting conversation I just had with a great musician named Lucas Nelson, who toured with us about 2 weeks ago. He was on tour with us, and he has a song called "I've Got David Bowie's New Record," and I listen to it all the time. Anyways, so he wants me to sing on this song potentially whenever he records it, and I realized that I hadn't heard David Bowie's new record. But the reason I think is just because my nostalgia brings me back to a time and a place, and I'm kind of like, it's hard to replace that with new music. But having said that, I would be so bummed out if I was David Bowie and I made a beautiful new album and everyone's like, nah, I like the old stuff better.
That's a great record.
I know it is. Everyone has said that, but that's why. No, I'm preparing myself for it. I'm kind of working up to it.
Sure. No, I get it. But so I'm going to take that now.
Yeah.
It seems like you guys are kind of in that David Bowie thing right now.
Yeah.
You've changed your sound. You've gone from these rootsy beginnings.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you go from nothing but the water to never go back? You know, it's
crazy.
Is there ever a point where you said, all right, we're not doing that anymore?
It's not so
it's time
intentional.
To hit the distortion pedal.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you're right, and that's exactly what we did do, but without that thought. And I don't think we ever put that much thought into it. The transition, I mean, being a shape-shifting band has always been the case with us. Before we were the Roots Rockers, we were like a quiet little jazz band playing like Nina Simone and Nora Jones and Joni Mitchell songs in like a bistro while people were trying to like pick at their poached salmon. You know, so before the Roots even came in, before the band influence and the Neil Young influence and all that. So I would say every 2 years we go through some kind of a cyclical transformation based on what music we're listening to. So over the last 10 years that we've been a band, I think things have really changed, and whether it's intentional or not, it's a really rewarding thing to know that our fans will follow us through all these different sort of generations of Grace Potter and the Nocturnals.
Yeah, because, you know, as an artist, you kind of have to have that, but there's also the business side of that, and you mentioned your fans going through that.
Yeah.
You know, is there ever even that worry, like, okay, these hardcore fans are going to follow us wherever, but it's going to happen?
I mean, I think you do lose fans. I think we've lost and gained fans over the years based on those changes that we've made, but I think at the heart of it, the core of our fan base care about us being passionate about what we're doing, and they know that we get bored very easily.
Yeah.
So the true fans will follow us down the rabbit hole because wherever we're going is it's not just entertaining for everyone else. It's engaging us, and you can see it on our faces when we're over it. You know, like when we're playing a song we've played a million times and we haven't rearranged it or resorted it. You can kind of tell. We're like, okay, we're just doing this now because we have to, and that's usually the crux of it. That's usually the moment when I'm like, all right, it's time to start over.
I'm sure it does take quite a lot to kind of stay in love with a song.
It does, but we always reinvent the songs. If you come see us live, you can tell, like Paris Ooh La La or Medicine or Nothing But the Water, or a lot of the songs from This Is Somewhere, we've completely, they turn over. You know, it's just like a seed in the ground, like an annual flower or a perennial flower, whatever, whichever the one is that grows every year.
I don't know.
You know, they grow slightly different every year, and even though they're there and they're still beautiful the way they are, I can't believe I'm calling my songs flowers. That is so not.
It's a cliche. It's what's going on here.
But it's like that. Let's put it a tree. You know, it's like a tree that blooms every year.
A tree is just a woodier flower.
A tree is a wood flower.
But it is hard. It's so hard for an artist. I mean, you guys are talking about doing it all the time. It's so hard for any artist to start writing outside of the box because they find a style. Let's say.
Yeah, it's a formula.
Yeah, they've learned to play guitar like this to this song, and that's the style. And they can never write anything beyond that.
that's a bad thing.
How do you get past that?
Why
because you guys have always like that.
We like to mess with other people. I think that we've had a really great experience working with artists that we admire and love. Dan Auerbach from this last record was, you know, you mentioned Never Go Back. That's a song that we did with him. I co-write all the time. It's just a good exercise in reminding yourself that you don't know shit.
Right.
Excuse my language. But the thing is that writing songs with the band is my way of kind of coming back to center, because every time I'm stuck on a song or I don't really know what to do next, the guys everyone has different influences in the band. Everybody goes to their bunk and they listen to whatever music is inspiring them. So when we try to write a song together, it always pulls me out of my own formulaic mindset, you know? So it's usually like 50-50. I'll write songs and then we'll write songs together. And then at the end of the day, maybe we'll work with a producer who also co-writes with us.
With you writing these songs with The Lion, the Beast, and the Beat, did the fame of 2010's record influence that at all, where you said, okay, this is really working on a major scale, do we need to go down that road more?
Quite the contrary, actually. It was interesting. The success of the eponymous album was this sort of awesome animal in and of itself that created a lot of the spin-off of the themes of the album lyrically, and that's basically where it ended. You know what I mean? A lot of the writing of the following record, I was like, this cannot be a follow-up. This cannot be the thing that sounds like a reflection of us looking in the mirror at ourselves going, what are we now? Like, that's the worst thing you can do, and I hate it when bands do that, where they have this amazing record and then the next record sounds like a cartoon caricature of what they were before. So, and then I also did that duet with Kenny Chesney, so a lot of people were like, oh, she's gonna go country now.
She's gonna have a country hit.
So it was kind of like my own way of just being a punk and saying, like, you know what, none of that's happening, that we're starting fresh, and I definitely put a lot of pressure on myself. I made it hard for myself in this process.
But it turned out, I mean, it worked.
Yeah.
So that's,
well,
you know, that's nice.
Thank you. I'm glad you think it does.
Yeah, there's got to be that line though where you say, you know, if we want to hit, then we have to think of it this way. Right. But if we want to further our sound, then we have to think about it this way.
I think we kind of did both. I think, you know, Stars,
I mean, Never Go Back's a great version of that right there.
That's like, yeah, it's an example of like recognizing that I love pop music. Like, it's not like I'm not looking to make a hit record. I'm looking to make a record that I want to play over and over again, that people can dance to. Right. I love making people dance. It's like sort of sad when I realize that most of the songs people love are the quiet ones, because I'm a good sad songwriter, but when it comes to the up-tempo ones, I always need help from my friends, you know? But I really love this album because it's got a little bit of everything. It's got Never Go Back. It's got songs like Stars.
And that title track.
Yeah, I mean, LBB is, that's what we call it on stage. It's a monster, and it's fun to play every single night.
I have to imagine you're already working on something else. Is the next one in the works? Because we're getting like a year at this point, right?
I'm churning over some ideas, but I think that, you know, we're going to tour on this one until October, and then we're probably just going to disappear.
Turn it off.
Literally disappear. For a while. So that I can really give myself the time to write the album before we dive into making one. I think the mistake I made with The Lion, the Beast, the Beat was that we jumped into the studio like right away. And I had the songs, but I didn't really love any of them. So it was a mistake that I don't want to make again. So I'm going to give myself a good like 6 months to just stew.
Are you the kind that needs to create some drama in her life to be able to get the inspiration?
No, I just peel off everybody else's drama.
Oh, that's
I'm
nice.
like, oh, he's so messed up. I'm ready.
Got it.
No, I have drama. I mean, I live with 12 amazing but crazy kooky people that we travel on 2 boxes of rolling steel down a road. I mean, you can't avoid drama whether you want to or not. So
it's gonna be there.
It's there.
Well, we can't wait to hear what happens. Once again, this record, fantastic. It is so cool hearing these different sounds.
Thanks
as
so
a fan.
much.
So
it's
great.
Awesome. Thank
Have a great one.